Of my stuff?
No, are you reading off of something?
Yeah, that I typed.
Yeah, and I have a copy afterwards to attach with the minutes.
Sure, there's part of it handwritten, part of it typed, part of it chicken scratch, and my son colored the front page. He helps a
Give
lot.
your name and address, please.
My name is Kristen Spitznagel, and I can't give my address. I live with an officer, so I can't give my address. Tonight, I come to you as a few different people. No, I don't have split personalities, as much as you'd like to say that I do. First, as the former president of council of Morristown and former employee or employer of Chief Littleton. And yes, former. I will make that very clear. I would like to set the record straight. Chief Littleton was hired as a full-time chief and maintained that role until a few things changed in Morristown, none of which were at any fault of the chief. It was changed mostly due to Blue Line Solutions contract falling through. Blue Line ended up being a scam. So the village no longer had the funding for a full-time officer. Chief was then moved to a part-time position, still listed as the chief, even though he still worked full-time hours for us, not paid for them, and worked for another department. So was still working more than full-time hours, even though he was listed now as a part-time employee. He still remained the chief of police. So the allegations of him never having a full-time job or a full-time chief position are false. Now back to the company that helped Morristown go broke, Blue Line Solutions. A camera ticketing company was brought before council and very deceptively represented by an officer named Robert Peters. Robert Peters ended up being fired from Morristown for falsifying his time card. Later, he was brought under investigation for several reasons. Due to it still being an ongoing investigation, I cannot speak on that matter. Robert Peters goes by many aliases, one of them being Brock Reichard. I know this for a fact. I have emails from him as his alias because he was trying to help me fire Chief Littleton when he first came to work for us. Now, when an inquiry was placed on who did a records request on Littleton and Enon, the only person in the last 12 months to do a records request was Brock Reichert. Robert Peters leaves nothing but a path of destruction and uses anyone and anything that he can to do his dirty work and ruin others. Now, my second personality. I come to you as the girlfriend of a police officer. So those of you that don't watch your significant other strap a gun to their leg and a bulletproof vest to their chest to go to work, let me explain that feeling. You kiss them goodbye every time they leave for work. For a split second during that kiss, you close your eyes and pray it is not the last one. You worry all day and night that they come home from every shift. There has already been 42 line of duty deaths this year in the United States. Now, with that being said, I am absolutely appalled that officers have assisted in the endless and senseless witch hunt. As a fellow officer, whether you're a Perry Township officer, a neighboring township officer, or just any other officer, period, shame on you for not standing beside your fellow brother in blue. And shame on you for not coming to your fellow officer if there was a concern or an issue and not addressing it face to face, man to man, and most importantly, brother to brother and officer to officer. Now thirdly, I come to you as a mother, and at this point, the witch hunt has summoned the mama bear in me. An officer is expected to run into an active shooter situation, a crazy person on drugs, domestic violence situation. They're expected to pull people over with no idea of what or who at the other end of that car. You, as Perry Township, expect Chief Littleton, also known to me as a father, son, brother, and an amazing boyfriend, to protect and serve, if asked of him to lay down his life and to serve your community. He walks out the front door of our home every morning to prepare to do so if any of that is called upon him with no questions asked. Between the two of us, we have 10 kids, and 3 grandchildren. And with no regard for the safety of our family, our address is posted all over social media. Should it have been redacted? Absolutely. And according to the ORC 149.43, it legally should have been. But since it wasn't, it should have been blacked out by the person posting it all over social media. How can you ask a man to leave his family at home and protect and serve you when you are putting his family in harm's way? I am by no means saying you have no rights to public records. Go for it. Request away, post it wherever you would like. Chief's life is an open book, mistakes and all. Considering the type of toilet paper that we use is about the only thing that hasn't been posted, and it's Sherman, the red package, in case anyone would like to know. Now here is the mama bear part. I will make this promise. Anyone, and I mean anyone, whether it is a department, whether it is the State Highway Patrol, whether it is another officer or a civilian, I will hold anyone responsible with my team of attorneys if there is any harm in any way brought to my family due to the release of our address. Post any public record that you would like. Find them, look for them, ask for them, request them. All I'm asking is that you have some compassion for the chief that kisses his family goodbye every day to come and protect you and your family. Now lastly, why? Why has this continued? What has Chief Littleton done so wrong as your interim chief or as your permanent chief? To the majority of Perry Township, I would like to thank you for your love and support. You guys are amazing. But to the select few that had continued this, and I ask, is why? You say it's because you care so much for Perry Township, that you are so concerned that you have taken hours upon hours of your time and others trying to find anything you can to drag this man's name through the mud. But I am yet to see these same people volunteer any of their extra time they seem to have to help this community. Not there to help stuff eggs, which we did for hours upon end. Not there to donate money to help for community projects. Not there to help hide eggs for the children of this community. And not there to help clean up afterwards. What possible things have you done for this community that you can claim to care so much about? So maybe instead of taking every waking minute and every waking hour of yourself and other people's time to destroy someone, you should take the time to meet him. See what his plan is, his vision for this community that he chose to come back to. Maybe meet some of the incredible officers that he has hired and find out about cases that have been closed and solved. There are so many great things happening in this community that you are missing. You are missing all of it. And just constantly going over the negative. And as far as the integrity of Chief Littleton, do you not see what all he has faced since returning to Perry Township? He has had his life put on display, much of it twisted into things that they were not. He has been attacked from all angles and still comes every day to protect these same people. He has held his head high and continued to grow as a great chief officer and a man. So post away. He has an incredible support system from home, his family, and this great community. And I have the ORCs if anybody would like to see them. And I have the entire list with pictures of all the officers that have been killed in the line of duty as of this year alone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On behalf of myself, I appreciate that.
I do.
Anyone that supports this gentleman, what Kristen said, should stand and give him a round of applause. Let's see if he stands.
Now, he was scared to death because he had no idea what I came to say.
That's the truth.
One of the important things is, the man that put this on social media was warned about it once before,
Correct.
and he did it again. And it gives me God bumps when we get my hands on him. I'm telling you, this is really a violation of that man's privacy, and anybody that would do that is worthless in my point of view.
It bothers me, and
I have
It
brothers.
bothers me for your safety, of your family.
Absolutely. And your
That's
children.
what- And your children. That's
He
what
bought me a
bothers
shotgun for Valentine's Day to protect our home.
Good for you.
Good.
Good for you. I hope it's a double barrel.
Some people say they haven't chose to go that way, but I gotta come to my house and see how it works out. I
No, I
chose to go
just-
that way. Well,
We're just, you know,
Request, Mrs. Megan made Ms. Spitzley's notes at the end of the meeting, so I'll be submitting those notes.
I'm sorry, I'm lost.
Me too.
You had requested Ms. Spitznagel's notes from the May 14th meeting to include in the trustees' notes. I'll submit my notes for this meeting to be included.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, a great concern on May 14th meeting was the posting on May 8th, 2019, of the Miami Township Police Report, 17-2688, dated 9/3/17, on the Prospering Perry Township Facebook site. The police report did not redact the home address of Tim Littleton. The property in question is owned by Gary Kurtz of GKJK Properties. It was being purchased by Tim and Amanda Littleton on a land contract.
So I don't think we should be announcing this here in this meeting,
Well,
what they're purchasing or whatever. That's improper.
And not
No,
only that,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
I would hate to think that anybody that would allow somebody's personal
that's
information
what
to
this,
be
that's
put
what
on
this is about.
Facebook.
That's what this is about.
No,
It
you're
is.
not to
It's
give
about
out
you
personal
doing it.
information of a police officer. Absolutely not.
You put it on Facebook about Tim Littleton.
I did.
Yeah.
And that was wrong.
And that's wrong.
No, it was not wrong. Yes, it is wrong.
It was Miami Township Police Department's job to redact that address.
Well, that's all right.
Thank you.
Ohio Patrol didn't redact something once and you put it out there too, and you were told you were wrong, weren't you? Weren't you?
See,
Weren't you?
somewhere.
Yes, you were.
Somewhere in this deal, integrity should come in.
Right.
And you know what? I wanna
Common
ask you a
sense.
question.
Integrity.
I wanna ask you a
Common
question.
I want to
sense.
say, I want
Can
to
you let
finish
him
my statement.
finish?
No, not on that, he's not
Yeah,
finishing.
go ahead,
Absolutely
go ahead,
not.
finish.
I
Go
want to
ahead.
finish my statement because I'm talking about your integrity.
Yeah, well, you're getting ready to hear it too.
Okay? They bought this on land contract. I talked to Gary Kurtz, who owns the property. They moved out on January the 15th. Amanda stayed 7 or 10 days later. That's January the 15th, 2018. By the end of 2018, January, the house was vacant. I've included court financial statements verifying what transpired. You know what went on here. It's been 1 year and 4 months since Tim and Amanda Littleton have resided at this residence. Mr. Littleton's girlfriend, Kristen Spitznagel, has never resided at this residence. No one was ever in any danger.
That you know of.
Well, if they
That
didn't
you
live
know
there, how
of.
could
They
they be in
didn't
danger?
live there.
You don't know that. You don't know
Yes,
everything.
he
do
does.
know that,
That's
Dale.
what he's telling you.
No, he don't know that.
Yes,
I do know that, I talked to the owner, and I've got financial information.
You know what? I've owned properties and I've had people live in them and stuff. Not everybody knew who lived there or what. So you don't know everything.
I do.
I'm not real sure where you're going with this.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't-
What's-
I
we don't
have no
care.
idea.
Wait,
Well, I'm
can I
going
just,
with
can I
this.
just ask a question? What, I don't
The
understand.
presentation that she gave was a lie.
Okay, what,
And you knew it was a lie, because you didn't live there.
okay, but I don't understand
Nothing in there
why.
that she said was a lie, Mr.
Sure
Ward.
it was, because
She
she said
said,
that
she
the,
said that your family, your children, 10 children, were put in danger because your address was given out. But it was an address where you hadn't lived in a
You know-
very long
Okay, well,
time.
can I speak for a minute
But I-
since I live here? We live down the street from that address. He drives a car home that's marked from here. So you give an address of where we live, and then they can drive right past our house and see the car that's provided by this township
Yeah.
for him to drive home
how far do
and
you
see
live from that house?
within 10 minutes.
That's not
And
down the
that's
street.
not right by your house.
I don't understand.
If
I'm
you-
sorry.
Where you
I'm
going
sorry,
with
I'm
this?
sorry.
What's the deal on it?
Yeah.
Where
I'm
you
just-
going?
The whole
Yeah.
point is,
Simple.
it was a
Simple
lie
is
that
right.
we lived.
Simple's right, yeah,
Right.
simple.
It was a lie.
I never stated I lived there, sir.
Right.
Yes, you
Somebody
did.
needs to keep their
Well,
nose out of other people's baseballs.
I'll tell you something. I want to ask you a question. Fresh Hour, you too. Pat, you too. do you have the best interest of this community at heart?
No, that's obvious.
No, I'm serious, I want to
Thanks for
answer.
answering for us.
Yeah.
I will. It's obvious. It's obvious.
I would like to.
I haven't
We
answered
feel
it.
the
Wait,
same,
wait.
we feel the same way about you guys, it's obvious.
Okay, I want to know, do
Please.
you have the best interest of this community at heart?
I have,
It's not an essay question, it's simple yes or
Absolutely.
no.
yes.
Simple,
I don't,
absolutely.
okay, now, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna look at this, because I asked you, as a member of the BZA, I gave you a list of questions I wanted, and you gave me instructions, check Tara's records. I did. That little paper you scratched across the top
What does
became a
that
document.
have-
Okay, now
What does that
here's
have
the
to do
deal.
with this?
This has to do with your integrity. I went back and I checked Tara's records, and I found out, as a BZA member, you've missed over 1/3 of those meetings. Every time that we have to have a meeting rescheduled, it's a minimum of $200 for a newspaper article that comes out of your taxes, your taxes, your taxes. Every time we have to do it. Not only that, as I was also following your instructions to look at the record, Tara's records, and I looked at, you've got a building you put up that there's no zoning permit for. And you're a member of the BZA. Now, let's talk about integrity.
One
big
behind
boy.
your garage.
You the chicken house?
Yeah,
It's
well.
Yeah.
a foundation.
Hey, I don't care what it is, you didn't get a permit to
You
put it
get a
up.
permit.
Need a
Now,
permit.
let's talk about that.
You
Don't
got
you
chickens.
start, I'll get on you in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I'll tell you what, you complained about that pond out there overflowing. And I came out there and I went around that perimeter of that place. I went up 3 times
Oh,
to the,
you came to my house one time.
that's all I needed from you.
Oh, okay.
I went up to the Conservancy
Soil and water.
3 times. Yeah, that's right, that's what it's called. 3 times. I went up there, I got topographical maps, I got aerial photos, and the 3rd time I was there, they said, who's complaining about this? I said, well, Bob Freshout.
5 neighbors.
And you,
5
and you know what?
neighbors.
You know what they told me? Why don't they ever come in? Get up off your ass and go to the.
I've been up there.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
been up
you know who
there.
I'm gonna believe, them or you? I
Oh.
believe them.
Well, sure.
Well, you've
Because
told
you
lies to
established
me.
yourself
I'm
as
an
a liar.
established liar. Yeah, you
That's
told
You
right.
are.
You
Just
said
like
that
I sold
at
my
this
farm.
meeting.
You told how I
Why don't
sold
you
my
let-
farm.
Why don't you let
Bull, I
Mr.
never
Warble
sold anything.
finish?
I make a motion
Why don't
to
you let Mr.
adjourn.
Warble finish his
Second.
statement?
We're adjourned.
I need my 9
No,
minutes.
No, you ain't
That
getting
you-
9 minutes. We
that
don't
you
have to
did.
give you
No,
any.
we don't have
Zero.
to give,
That's-
that's another thing
that's
too.
down.
We don't have to allow anybody to speak.
Good.
And we can pick and choose who we want
Sit
to.
down, Brad.
Go to the green.
He likes it.
Well, you know, Mr.
That's right, I
Ron
did,
Price
I'd do it
there
again.
was, Tim Littleton was to the green because he wanted to know what hours I worked. And soon after that, Ron Price called
Public place, isn't it?
Ron Price called my employer.
Well, he did it too.